Hey, if you are watching this now from YouTube, we are no longer live, but welcome. Oh, sorry. Okay, I think we're good. This thing is not cooperating today. Hey, hi, hello. Trying to fix my picture. Hey you guys! Hi! I just ran from downstairs. Hey you guys! Hey! What are we making today? I am making a necessary clutch wallet by Emmaline Bags. If you were just on YouTube watching me, we made a Lola. So here is the bag that we made. This is the skull and roses print. Hi! And then there's some more skull and roses on the inside. And this black and white fabric. Gorgeous. So we just made this on YouTube, and then now I'm going to make the matching wallet with it. Zip around wallet. This is the classic zip around wallet by Maggie 55. So these are little pig and polka dots. And then there's some more little piggies on the inside. There's a zipper pocket on the inside. This was also a restock, so this is available if you're interested. Hi, hello, welcome. So we're going to do a wallet. Mine come with a wristlet strap, so I'll go ahead and start by making that first. Get everything organized. It's going to have the same interior as well as the exterior. So I make my wristlet strap 14 inches long, 2 inches wide. I draw a line down the center, and then I'm going to make one edge so that it is finished and there's no raw edge when I'm all done. Isn't it pretty? I love this pattern. I was actually just saying that I've been sold out of that pattern for so long, and I had this fabric and I was like, man, let me just do a really quick restock. Hi. Just made a stadium, required a clear bag. Nice. I love watching it. Oh, thanks, JoJo. So this is 1/2 inch double-sided tape. I am just lining it up along the bottom center where I drew that line. I'm going to take my backing off. I'm going to fold up the bottom and then in each side to the center, and that's going to give me the finished edge so that we don't have a raw end on the end of our wristlet strap. How long does it take to ship? It really depends on where I'm shipping. I live in Hawaii, and to get it to the mainland, it's usually about 3 days. And I'm just pressing in those edges into that tape. And then now I'm going to fold it over one more time and stitch every single side, and that is going to give me the nice finished edge. Hey! I received one in New Hampshire. 5 days. Do I make jewelry organizers? No. Nope, I don't have any jewelry organizers. I'm sorry. You guys, my husband is gonna kill me. I don't have my wedding ring on. Yeah, I know, Jennifer. That's kind of why I wanted to switch. Daphne was telling me that it just got really blurry at the end. And I assumed that it just cut off. I don't know why that happens. Where do I get my leather from? So I use a faux leather. The solid colors like this I get from marinevinylfabrics.com, and then the pattern vinyl, I have it custom printed. All right, all done. Just gonna singe those little pieces of thread. So that's what it looks like when it's all done. Now I'm going to poke some holes. So on the finished end, I poke one hole on the bottom. I go up about an inch, poke another hole. And then on the side that has the raw edge, I just poke one hole on the bottom. Hey, Just Mammy. Welcome back to a cleaner, hopefully, picture. Alright, so I used one large rivet. I get mine from Tandy Leather. And then I'm using a 1/2 inch lobster clasp. I just get these from Amazon. I'm going to put my rivet through that second hole on the finished end. I'm going to bring up the bottom, put that on the rivet so it looks like this. I'm going to slide on my lobster clasp, fold that top over, and then put that other hole on the rivet, add my back, and then set my rivet. And that's how I make my wristlet straps. I got this from Gold Star Sewing. Alrighty. So that is my wristlet strap, and it moves with the bag. Hey, Deborah. Alright, wristlet strap's done. Let's work on our divider. So this part of the bag is a divider. It also has a zipper pocket, so you can put coins or whatever you want zipped up. I install my zipper on my domestic sewing machine just because there's only one layer of fabric that I'm working with when I'm adding my zipper on, and this just will shred it. So I'm going to lower my tension, do my top stitching, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Hey! Let's see how much I get my grocery shopping done. So I'm just going to top stitch. Now that I have 2 layers of fabric, it's a little bit easier for my sewing machine to get through. Going to open up my zipper, trim this excess, and then fold it closed. I do mine a little bit different than the pattern calls for. I make mine a little bit shorter. You're not going to see these edges, so we don't have to have them finished. And I don't use a zipper end because it's shorter. You're not going to see the top of my zipper once it's stitched in. That might not make sense if you haven't made this, but I'll show you. So I'm just clipping everything together, and I'm going to sew them down. Is it muting out the sewing machine, you guys? And then now I'm just going to trim my corners to get that excess material out of there. When I start sewing, I always hold the thread, otherwise after that you hold them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Mine doesn't really bunch up. I mean, sometimes it will. It really just depends on what I'm sewing. For example, when I sew my credit card panel, each line that I sew, because my material is a little bit thinner on the side when I start sewing, sometimes it will bunch up and I will hold the thread. But if it's a thicker piece of fabric like this, I usually don't because it doesn't really bunch up. And this is a top stitch, so you're gonna see these stitches, so I don't wanna see them bunched up. This stitch that I just made is on the inside, you're not gonna see it, so if it bunches up a little bit, it's no big deal. So it really just depends when I hold it. I always make sure that they are in the back, kind of to the left a little bit. No, thank you. Adrica sounds normal. Yay! I love that. I put in a ticket and I was like, please stop doing this to my friends. They want to hear it. Alright, so I'm turning this right side out. I'm going to grab a little screwdriver and get my corners out so that they are a nice 90-degree angle. Did you do the credit card thing on your domestic? No, I do it on here. Yes, I'm using some here. Good, I'm glad. So glad. Okay. If your fabric is directional, so mine is, there's a top, like if it was all polka dots, that's not directional. This is directional. If you make this pattern and your fabric is directional, you're going to want to have one going the correct way and then you want to have one upside down. And the reason for that is when we sew it in, this side is going to be, which one is it? This side is going to be flipped up, so it's upside down now, but when it gets sewn in and flipped up, it's going to be the right side, and then that's going to be the right side. Okay, all done with this. Let me just do a top stitch on the bottom, and then we'll move on. Hey, Tammy, yes, that's what I was told. You tell me, hold on. Is it fixed? Yay. What is a butter bag? It's not a what, it's a who. I am a butter bag. So much better, I know, right? I was like dying because you guys, y'all are so sweet. People were like DMing me and sending me emails and like, I guess they had done some research and they found some ways to fix it, and all the suggestions, I was trying all of those and I couldn't figure out how to make it work because I didn't have any of those options that you guys found. So I submitted a ticket to TikTok and I don't know if they just fixed it. So much better, I know. Okay, we're done with this. Let's do the flap. So this is the wallet that we're making and I'm gonna work on the flap right here. The original pattern is like this. It kind of curves down like this. That's a really bad illustration. So all I do is I take the edge and bring it all the way down and then I line it up with the bottom of the curve. And then I make mine straight instead of the curve like it has it. The sound came back. I know, we were just talking about that. Okay, so we're going to take the outside of the wallet, the inside of the wallet, right sides together. Clip them down. And then sew them together. So I'm going to sew down, across, and up. I'm not going to sew the top of it, and that's going to allow me to turn this right side out. Get my tension right. And then we're going to trim our corners. Grab my little screwdriver, turn this right side out. Hey, Cindy. Poke out my corners. nice and slow. You do not want to poke through your vinyl. And then I'm going to roll my seam down and clip it in place so that way I can do a top stitch. Oh, what kind of material do I use? So for the outside of all of my bags, I use a faux leather, and then on the inside, I use a cotton fabric. On a machine. This is a Juki 1181. It's an industrial sewing machine. I want to make sure everything is nice and flat. So here's what we're looking like. So when you open up the wallet, you're going to see this on the outside, this on the inside. And then now what I'm going to do is a top stitch all the way around. All right. So here is what we're looking like with the top stitch. Might be kind of hard to see it with this pattern. This is what it looks like on the inside. And then now we're going to add or install the opening. Let me grab a wallet to show you guys. So here's the wallet that we're making, just in a different print. And it has a twist lock opening. So this part right here is the black part when you open it up. And then this is the part that we just sewed. Remember how I said that this will be both the divider as well as the zipper pocket. So that's this part right here. It divides the wallet into different sections. And then there's also that zipper pocket on the top. So now we're going to install this opening. And then here's the wristlet strap that we already made. So I'm just going to line this up on my ruler, find my center mark. The opening has two pieces to it. There's one that has some prongs. I don't know if you can see that. That has the prongs. And then this one has some little grooves where the prongs fit in. So I'm going to take this one, center it, and then I'm going to draw in the center of that oval. So I just drew in the center of it just to kind of give me the size of the opening. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to add 1/8 of an inch outside of that. So I want to cut a little bit bigger than my opening. If I just cut that size, you would see the raw material on the inside because it would be flush. So you want to take out just a touch more. So about 1/8 of an inch. So if you can see where I drew the circle, and then you can see the outside of it. So I take off about 1/8 of an inch more. Now I'm going to grab the side that has the prongs. That's going to go in the front, because remember the other one has the groove. So we don't want to see the grooves on the front. That goes on the inside. So I'm going to line that up. Make sure it's even, and then press those prongs into that groove. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but because we cut out a little bit more fabric than the opening, we don't see the raw material on the inside. Hi, Kathy. All right, so our wallet flap is all done. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside and work on the body of the wallet. So this is the outside body. This right here is the inside body. So let's do the outside first. The outside of the wallet is where our actual lock is going to be installed. So I'm going to mark that up now. I'm not going to install it until a little bit later. So get my ruler, make sure that we are nice and even. Grab my twist lock. That also has prongs in it, so I'm going to mark where that gets installed. I'm also going to cut out those holes, and then like I said, I'm going to install it a little bit later. So that's all I have to do for the outside. For the inside, I'm going to cut a hole in the center of it. This wallet is sewn inside out, so we have to turn it right side out. And there's a couple of ways to do that. This is what I like to do. This hole is going to, or cut is going to be sewn over by the end of it. So we won't have an actual hole in our project. All right. So that's how we're going to turn this wallet right side out when we're done sewing it together. So let's put everything together. We have our outside, our inside. We're going to put those right sides together, and then we're going to clip it down, and then we're going to sew all the way around. So see how we're sewing it inside out, and then we're going to use this to turn it right side out. Let me get that all lined up, clip together. It's such a funky looking pattern because it's so big, and then it actually winds up being like this small. This is definitely a trust the process kind of pattern if you've never made it before. I've made hundreds of them. It's such a really good pattern. It's well written, it's well designed, it's functional. The more you make, the easier it is to make them. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our little wallet flap that we made. We're going to tuck that in between the interior and the exterior. Get that centered, and then clip it in place. Okay. Before I sew everything up, remember mine personally, so I've altered this part of the pattern. Mine come with a wristlet strap. So we have to put a place somewhere on the wallet for the wristlet to hang from. And what I do is I add a little wristlet attachment right underneath the wallet flap. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that in now. That way, when I'm sewing everything together, we're going to sew in our little wristlet strap attachment. So it just looks like this before it's stitched in. Put that underneath the flap. Make sure that's lined up. And then now we sew. Did you release a new digital pattern? I think my newest one was the Becca. No, Alyssa. The crossbody bag. This bag right here. That's my latest one. All right. I'm going to turn my iron on. Just clean up a little bit. Those are stitched together. Now what I'm going to do is take some pinking shears and cut away all this extra fabric. So how then she makes it look. I mean, I'm not one to say that anything is simple, especially if you're doing it for the first time, if you haven't done it in a long time. Sewing absolutely takes practice. It takes patience. But again, the more you do it, the easier it is. I'm never going to say, well, I guess I do say, oh, it's so easy. I need to stop doing that. Now that I think about it, I'm always like, oh yeah, it's so easy. Okay. Got all that extra fabric out of there. So that's what my seam looks like now. And then now what I'm going to do is turn this right side out through that little hole we cut. Can this be made to open flat? It would actually be a totally different pattern. So these little side, I guess I'm going to call them wings for this tutorial. These little side wings wind up getting folded in, and that's what this side right here is. It's turned into an accordion. So if you wanted it to open flat, you would have to avoid this side, which would mean that you would have to cut the pattern down here. So the pattern would need to be altered. But yeah, it can be. You would just have to make some alterations to it. Maybe I should put music on, it won't be able to muffle. Hold on, I'm confused. Are we muffled still or no? Hi, welcome. Will you share the pattern? This is not my pattern. This pattern is available for purchase, but it's not mine. It's called the Necessary Clutch Wallet by Emmaline Bags. Oh no, we're muffled again. So not muffled with me talking, but the sewing machine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, when I turn it right side out, sometimes it gets a little wrinkly. You cannot iron vinyl. It will melt it. So what I do is just take my iron, put it on the inside since this is cotton, give it a little steam, and that's plenty to get out any wrinkles. Try putting on music. If I do that, I can't upload it to YouTube. That's the only thing because of the copyright. What's the new purse you wrote? What's the new purse? The newest bag was the Alyssa crossbody bag. This pattern is available. The one before that was the Becca, which is this one kind of off camera. Ah, how annoying. So on YouTube, the picture was kind of blurry, and here the audio is kind of messed up. We need to go live on Instagram. Okay, so the next step is to do a top stitch all the way around the outside. That's going to let this lay nice and flat. I wonder why there's no jams planned tonight. Yeah. So a lot of people who can't make it to TikTok or who would rather watch it on YouTube, I've been uploading my lives from here to YouTube. So if you missed any of my prior lives, or if you just want to watch some other bags being made, if you go to my TikTok profile by clicking these BBs up here, to the below the follow button is an Instagram icon. If you click on that icon, it will give you my Instagram as well as my YouTube. And I'm uploading all of my lives when I'm done with TikTok. So when I'm done with this live, I'll upload it to YouTube. So that way, if you can't stay, or if you just can't watch it all, you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. I wish there was a way that TikTok gave you that replay option. Step-by-step tutorial, that's what I'm share. Oh yeah, I'm happy to. I love it. All right. Top stitching is done. This is what it looks like. So it just gives it a nice finished edge, and again, it just allows it to lay a lot thinner than it was. TikTok needs to get it together. I know, Deborah. People were asking for it for a long time, and I finally was like, yep, that makes total sense. Just upload it on YouTube when I'm done. Because I know sometimes, especially on TikTok, people are scrolling through their For You page, and I might just pop up when I'm almost done with it. And if they want to go back and watch it, or if someone wants to make this pattern later and wants to come back and reference something that I said, it will be there. All right, so this section right here is going to be the back of the wallet, and I'm just going to add my nameplate right there. So what I do is I go a 1/2 inch down from my wallet flap. I find the center of my wallet flap, line up my name tape, press that in to get those marks, and then I'm going to go into that little hole that we cut on the inside lining. That way I can hold my lining away while I'm poking these holes through. The Aries pattern is not mine, no. That is Knotted Thread Co. Was that what you were asking about my latest bag released? I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. My last pattern was the Alyssa crossbody bag, but the latest bag that I released was the Aries. Sorry. All right, so that is the nameplate. When you make a new pattern, how do you know what to change on your version? When you make a new pattern, how do you know what to change on your version? I don't know if I understand that. Hey, Mia. What did you miss? So we made this bag on YouTube, so you missed that. And then now we're making a matching wallet for it. And we're almost done with the wallet. So you missed a lot. Get your life together. Denise, the Aries is by Knotted Thread Co. That's the name of the designer. Thanks, Deanie. Yeah, I changed the top of the wallet. Okay, so now we are going to add our credit card panel. I make a whole bunch of these at one time. There's a lot of stitching. You have to stitch each folded credit card slot and then down. So I do a whole bunch of them at the same time. I normally take like a, I don't know, Saturday evening and do like 5 or 6 of them at one time, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but these little panels take a long time to make. This is probably the longest part of making the wallet. So this one is pre-made. There are 6 credit card slots on the top, 6 on the bottom. It's going to be sewn in like this. So it looks like it's upside down now, but it'll be sewn in like that. So what we're going to do first is we're going to line it up with our wallet flap. Make sure that it's nice and centered. And then we're going to fold in each side and then clip that down. Make sure your bag has the longest shoulder strap that doesn't go crossbody, the big B, this style right here. All right, so we fold in this side, fold in this side. I'm just going to fold it up, make sure everything is nice and aligned. This one is a little bit, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is stitch down each side, and that's going to lock this credit card panel in place. That is what it looks like stitched down. It's the outside. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so our credit card panel is stitched into our wallet. The next step is to add our center divider, this part right here. Before we do that, I need to add my twist lock. Adding the center divider is going to stitch up the center, and what that's going to do is close that opening that we have in our lining. Remember how I cut a hole in the lining so that we could turn this right side out? The next step is going to sew that up because we're going to sew across that. So before I do that, I need to put in my twist lock. Remember, I just cut the holes for it. And the reason why I do it at this step instead of early on is because when you're sewing, if you install this twist lock, the bottom is going to be up like that because you have the hardware underneath it. I like to sew where it's nice and flat. So that's why I do it the way that I do it. I like to explain the method behind my madness. That's not a lot of my sister. Pictures on that. Oh, you had a custom item? My sister had with my parents' picture. Oh, was that the zip around wallet? Any separate big locks from tearing the vinyl over thicker areas. It's really a lot about your tension and then just going slow. You really have to know your sewing machine. That's happened to me before where my vinyl has been torn up by my feed dogs. I know there's a way that you can adjust the pressure. I messed with that one time and I actually had to call in a professional to reset it all. So I don't mess with these anymore. Tension is really going to help you out. And just practice on some, I usually have some scrap pieces. Just practice on scrap. Fold up your scrap to the thickness that you're going to be sewing over and sew over it. If it tears it up, turn down your tension. Okay, so our twist lock is installed. At this point, I like to just fold it up, close it, make sure we don't have anything funky. We don't. Everything lines up really nicely. And then now we're going to install our sectional as well as our zipper pocket. So I'm going to just mark where it needs to be stitched. I use a friction pen. Let me turn on my iron again. So we're going to sew a big old rectangle. So I'm going to line this up, making sure that it is nice and centered, and then stitch that down. I'm going to put my thread where I started. And then I like to just singe the ends of my thread with my lighter. And it just kind of seals them. Even though we're back stitching to lock in our stitches, the lighter just kind of seals them. I'm going to take my iron, get out that friction pen. Okay, so that is how it looks right now. We have the pocket stitched in. You can kind of see the rectangle right there. And then the next step is to pull up each of our sides, and then we're going to attach it to the actual exterior of the wallet. So I'm going to open up my zipper pocket. I kind of eyeball it. The wallet tells you exactly where to put these dividers. So that's what we're looking like right now. And then the last step is just to sew down each side. So this is probably the thickest part of the wallet. Take your time, go nice and slow. There we go. Remember, the thicker the fabric, the higher the tension. Thank you guys. This is a restock, so it's available for sale on my website. If you just search Skull Wallet, this will come up. There we go. So I like to clip all of my tails at the very end, but that's what it looks like once they're stitched down. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. This is the last item that I'm sewing. I have to jump off and make my husband some lunch. But I go live every Tuesday and Thursday, so I'll be live again this coming Thursday, right around the same time. So if you'd like to follow me, I'd love to have you. I have Instagram. You can watch these replays on my YouTube channel, as well as some other videos. I like to sew all the way down and then back stitch all the way up. And that's just another way to kind of lock in those stitches. So at the end, going to trim them all. And that's kind of how the beginning and ends of my tails are all the same on the very top, because I back stitch and start at the very top. And I'm going to seal those threads with my lighter. Just a second, it's not going to burn the vinyl. It's kind of like a piece of hair. You know how quickly hair lights up and then just burns down? That's just what thread is. All right, so here's what we're looking like. This is a detachable wristlet strap, so you can wear this wallet as a wristlet, or you can take it off and utilize it as a regular wallet. But this is what it looks like when it's all done. There's the front. The bottom where we sewed in that divider, it kind of gives us a little bottom support structure. It's the back. And then our interior. So we have a section behind our credit card panel. Remember, we only sewed our credit card panel down these two sides. We didn't sew the top down. So we have a section behind the top one as well as this bottom one right here. There are 6 credit card slots on this side, 6 credit card slots on this side. We have a zipper pocket, and then we have this large interior pocket. And then remember how I said I don't do zipper ends? So if you look on the edge of my zipper, I made it a little bit shorter so it fit down in here. So when I sew this up, you don't see the top of my zipper. So that's kind of how I get away with not using zipper ends. But that is how I make the Necessary Clutch Wallet by Emmaline Bags. And so if you missed it, just made the wallet. And then we made this adorable little Lola, matching Lola that goes with it. So the wallet will obviously fit in the Lola, and then there's tons of extra room in here. Thanks, Just Mammy. Hey, has the new design been announced? The new design. I think I released that last week. The Aries. It's right here. You can't really see it. It's deep enough for a phone, yeah. Most phones. So this is a Google Pixel 6 something. And it'll fit. That's what it looks like with the Google Pixel. And then of course you can still utilize the zipper pocket, the credit card, slots, etc. Can I see the, oh, the inside of the purse? Yeah. It's the same print as the inside of here. And it has a zipper pocket on the inside. It holds a ton of stuff. So this is the, if you just go to my website and search Skull Lola, Lola, this will come up. And then if you search Skull Wallet, this will come up. If you want to search all of my skull prints, if you go to my website, there is the 3- line at the top, which is the menu. You click on that and then click shop by print. And then if you scroll down, you'll see skulls. And these, both of these are in that collection. My website is butterbags.com. It's also linked to my TikTok profile, so you don't even have to type that in. Just go over to my profile, and then right underneath the follow button is a link to my website. The Lola is not my design. This is by Swoon Patterns. This is by Emmaline Bags. Okay, I'm going to jump off and make my husband some lunch. Thanks for hanging with me today. I will see you guys back on TikTok Thursday, right around this time. Bye. Have a good day.